Hello and welcome to Sportsweek. I'm Drew Richardson. Coming up on today's show, Eastleigh face Farnborough in the Hampshire Derby, ex-Southampton player David Armstrong on this season's team.
You've really got to sit up and take notice of this Southampton side because they are playing particularly well.
And Lewis Salter takes on breakdancing. AFC Totton took on Frome Town in the Southern Football League Premier Division on Tuesday. The young Totton side hadn't won a game at home since August before they faced Frome Town. Tate Slyfield was at the Testwood Stadium to see the action.
Frome Town asserted their dominance early on and took the lead after defender Mark Cooper delivered a perfect cross for Bagridge to slot in. The visitors were looking to double their lead, but goalkeeper Joe McCormack made a top save. Tottenham winger Jamal Branca took a 25-yard strike. But Branca was on the run again as he chipped a pass to striker Alex Moth, but he hit the post for the home side. 30 minutes into the game, midfielder Aaron Leicester took a shot which hit the crossbar, but striker Ben Wood took the rebound. Alex Moth made a second attempt on goal, but Luke Roberts failed to poke the ball home. In the second half, a superb run by Ben Wood slipped in a cross for Brandon Mundy to slot in the right-hand corner. A similar goal was scored by Ben Wood. Ben Wood completed his hat-trick with a well-placed shot. Tate Slyfield, Winchester News Online.
Eastleigh took on Farnborough in a Hampshire Derby on Saturday. Eastleigh had only picked up 5 points in their previous 4 Conference South games before they faced Farnborough, and Laura Allen was at the Silver Lake Stadium to see if the home side could get all 3 points.
This was about as close as fans got to action in the first half, with both teams unable to assert their dominance on the game. There was a glimmer of a chance from Eastleigh when Michael Green took a shot from outside the box but fired it over. Though this was closely followed by a chance from Farnborough's Harry Lee, but his shot drifted wide. With a need for both teams to gain some form of control, the second half saw more opportunities for both sides. First for Eastleigh's Craig McAllister, then for Farnborough's former Fulham striker Elvis Hammond, but to no avail. When a draw seemed the likely outcome, Craig McAllister scored a dramatic late winner after Adam Green's cross in the last minute of added time. The defeat for Farnborough's manager was hard to take.
We deserved to win, didn't we? I thought we were superb, and it's really hard to take right now. But we've got to try and learn. We're a very young side, small squad, and we've got to try and learn that, you know, until you're back in the dressing room, the game's not done.
As far as football seasons go, Southampton have certainly had worse. They currently sit 3rd in the Premier League after experiencing their best ever start to a top-flight season. David Armstrong, who was in the Southampton side that finished 2nd in the First Division in 1984, is promoting his new book, The Bald Facts. He took time out of his schedule to talk to our very own Liam Garahan about how the Southampton side of today compares to those of yesteryear.
You were part of the side that finished 2nd in the table, obviously their highest ever position in the top flight.
Yeah.
What do you think they need to do now to actually get to those sort of levels, like Champions League levels?
Well, they're not far off it now, to be perfectly honest. I've just mentioned the way Middlesbrough played. Southampton now are playing the way Middlesbrough played under Jack Charlton, and we were very, very successful at Middlesbrough. And as I've said, they're the best British team I've seen for closing down. I don't want to get too technical, but they need to, as they are doing, pressurise teams high up the field, and not in ones and twos, because let's not forget that the Premiership teams have got some fantastic players within every team.
And even the lower teams in the Premiership.
The lower teams, you've got
stand out.
yeah, of course they have. And what I'm saying to you is that you've got to pressurise those players, especially the invariably midfield players or front players. But they Southampton pressurise in the opponent's half, high up the field. And if you do that in ones and twos, the better teams will pass you by. I mean that in the literal sense. Passing the ball, they'll pass you by. But if you hunt in threes and fours, they'll find it very, very difficult. Not only to control the ball, but to pass it, and also try to give service to the front men. You're stifling that sort of player from the opposition, and the Southampton are doing it exceptionally well. As I say, it's reignited my passion for the game.
You mentioned how well Southampton are doing. You've seen Jay Rodriguez called up today, Adam Lallana, and both joining Ricky Lambert. Do you think those England call-ups are deserved?
Well, certainly justified the way they're playing, and Roy Hodgson has said that you can't. You've really got to sit up and take notice of this Southampton side, because they are playing particularly well. And it's not about individuals. I know you've mentioned but it's about the team ethic. And through that, you'll get people who are going to be pushing for places, whether it's England, Scotland, Ireland, or Wales. It doesn't matter, or even Portugal and Spain or something like that. So and the longer they continue to play with that sort of enthusiasm and the way they want to try to entertain and attack and make life difficult for the opposition, then the rewards are there for them. Yeah. And whether it's win the Premiership, win an international honours, then so be it. But it's fully deserved. They're working their socks off to do well.
We see Dejan Lovren taking a lot of praise, but there's obviously, like you said about Portugal, Jose Fon's alongside him, and last season he was part of the worst defence in the league. Now they've got the second best defence in Europe, just behind Roma. It's about the unsung heroes as well. Well,
of course it is. That's why I say it's not about individuals. This particular fundamental way of playing is about playing to your strengths, everybody's strengths, and try to cover the weaknesses, make life difficult for the opposition. Don't allow the opposition's front men to have as much of the ball as they would like, because if they do, they're going to cause problems, because we know how good the front men of the Premiership teams are. And they work their socks off for each other. I was brought up, I keep harping on about, to do your own job and half of somebody else's, and that's exactly what they're doing. That's how it should be. And if they continue to do that, then the world's their oyster, to be honest. And they don't have to be frightened of anybody. They treat them with respect, as I said. They're not overawed. There's no need to be overawed, because all they're saying is, well, we know you can play, but how can you play under pressure? And I'm not just talking about one man. I'm talking about 3 or 4 members of the team and the opposition's team who are going to be put under pressure in certain areas. It's hard work, but as I say, the hard work is done in the opposition's half rather than running back towards your own goal. And for me, that's a lot easier than anything. And it takes the responsibility off the defence a little bit. It makes life easier for the defenders, but they appreciate, and you'll hear them saying in the press and in the media, that just how well the team are playing and making the life a little bit easier for them.
Yeah. Well, David, thank you for your time.
You're welcome. Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
And finally, after its formation last year, the University of Winchester's breakdancing team are now training twice a week to get themselves performance ready. Lewis Salter went down to a training session to put his own moves to the test.
The University of Winchester Breakdancing Society was formed last year, but as a large percentage of the members have graduated, founder Calvin Wright has had the task of training a fresh group with a view to competing in the future.
I felt that this year we got a lot more people. We got around, generally people who come now is around 20, 30 more, as opposed to the less, around 10 that we had last year. But that's because a lot of people had the commitments. But this year, people are really settling themselves into new societies and they enjoy it. So that's the most I can really ask for. I have more people really understanding the perspective they have to adopt when it comes into this dance. It's not all just about movements and doing things that are impressive. There's a whole mentality behind it, and I hope that when I'm teaching classes, it's not about just teaching them technique, teaching them moves. I want to take some time to bring them out of class to show them where it came from, so they can really understand what it's truly about. What I hope to achieve really is just become more of an established society. Have more people really understanding the perspective they have to adopt.
Well, if they're so short on numbers, then perhaps I should offer my services. Some things are just better off left to the experts. Lewis Salter, Winchester News Online, Winchester.
That's all from this week's Sportsweek, but for more award-winning news and sport, go to winol.co.uk. Goodbye.